Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster and I'm with my lovely co-host,
Des FIanagan, standing again for the lovely Sandra Scott. And our guest this week is
Ian McPhail.
That's it, like we did in rehearsals here. Well done, mate.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ian, for joining us tonight. And we'll find out loads more about Ian as we go along. The very first thing that we do is we shout out to the kids, any young people who've done phenomenal things. I'm going to go first just before my phone switches off. So they're young, but they're like teenagers, young, like maybe they might be in their 20s, these 5 lads. So these 5 lads have walked from Liverpool and to the summit of Snowdon on Sunday. So tragically, a young boy, Daniel, lost his life when he went out in Crosby and he went out swimming, didn't he? And he lost his life. And he was one of the Hour for Others young people who attended the session. So massively affected an Hour for Others who've been our guests. So big shout out to all of them. And these 5 lads have gone off on an adventure to try and raise some money for for Daniel's family, to try and help and support them. So they walked 90 miles on Sunday, which was amazing. So I haven't got their names, but I've got all of their hashtags. So it's Daniel Suko, Wade Campion, Anthony Sudbury, Ryan Phillips, 93, and Adventure Fitness. And they raise loads of money. So massive shout out to all of them young lads.
Well done, guys. Good effort. Yeah.
So massive shout out and massively thanks to them. Who are you shouting out for, Des?
Well, I want to shout out for Lynn's great nephew. That is his name's Daniel, and it's his birthday today. And he's 6. And he was with us all day yesterday and that, so enjoy and he'll be seeing this.
Happy birthday, Daniel.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, you,
I'm going to shout out for all the athletes that teach on a Friday night, a primary group, and all my athletes that are trained through the week who have reached several PBs this season in the throwing, running and jumping events. So it's well pleased for them.
How old are the youngest kids, Ian?
The youngest to teach is between 7 and 11 on a Friday. The ones who compete are 13 onwards.
Wow, good. Yeah, good shout. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
And having the Olympics on is like a big, massive boost, isn't it? Watching all these athletes, achieve amazing things makes you want to run, jump and throw even more, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Keely Hodgson did really well last night, and she just travelled. She trains in the local club, Lee. So it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching Keely run, but then they had the video watching of her athletics group all sat in the club watching.
It was boss, wasn't it? Yeah. And your reactions in the centres as well.
Yeah. So
nice track, nice arena.
Yeah, brilliant. Happy days. Success this week for you personally. Des, what's your success this week?
Well, I've lost a couple of pounds this week. I've been on my diet, and I've had no bread for nearly a fortnight now. So I've had no sweets. I've not sweets for about a week. I used to love chocolate eclairs and all that, So and feeling good.
Looking good, Des.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. The last 2 days, I must have had a spike of energy and that, So whatever the detox is happening.
You got rid of your headache
and everything, But so feeling good. So it's only a little small thing, but it's big for me not having any bread. Because I used to love my bread, especially the homemade stuff. Anyway, so I've had no bread and I'm not even turkey now, so it's good. I think I'm over that bit, So
you'll be hiring me as your body double.
Sorry?
You'll be hiring me as your body double soon. You'll be hiring me as your body double.
I know. I can't wait to get the call to be the new Milton man, mate. That's what I'm going for, But can't see that happening.
Not far, mate. You're not far off.
If I could pole vault like you, I'd be well in the frame, mate. Don't worry. Yeah. Go on, Ed.
Brilliant. What's your success this week, Ian?
I was competing again over the weekend, and the joint team of Wigan Harriers won the men's event. I think it was 129 to 64. So we were way ahead of that. So it was a good weekend.
Brilliant. And we'll find out what all that means a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
For those who don't know, for those who don't understand, we will find out more about that. So my success is that I've been doing loads of safeguard training for the school, and I am halfway through.
Well done, you.
Well done.
Well done, you.
It's hard going and it's heavy, but it's like really important, that it's done and it's done well. But yeah, I'm halfway through and I'm still alive. So that's my massive success for this week.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that Ellen when you think about it, isn't it? Like,
it's loads.
You've got to do. Yeah, I didn't think it was that involved, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's so important, to protect everybody and make sure everybody's okay. Not just the young people, but the staff and the general public and everything. It's it's about It involves everything, so it's really in depth, but really important. And I've learned loads and loads of stuff. And then when you find out the reasons why, you go, oh, now I understand why they do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So I've already done loads of safeguarding, but this is a deep dive of safeguarding. So that's my success. I'm still here and I'm halfway through.
I had a further success as well yesterday, Helen, on a journey that we started many years ago.
And that was?
I passed the Animal Flow online exam, and
Brilliant.
In relation to that, the instructor's level 1 video thing that we couldn't send in many years ago on the 17th of August. So one more step to becoming a level 1 Animal Flow instructor.
Brilliant. Well done.
Well done. Yeah, give it a clap for that, Ian. And if you can explain a little bit later what Animal Flow is, that'd be good, because people will be looking over what's he on about there, But we know, because Alan's told me. Good stuff. Well, Alan.
Brilliant. Okay. We're going to play this order. Des, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Go on, you go first.
Okay. Ian, would you rather win an Olympic gold medal or hold the world record?
Ooh, that's a difficult one, that one, because I actually want to sort of try and get a world record in the World Police and Fire Games. But I think to be on the stage as an Olympian, no matter where you come in the events, that's got to be top notch, that you can sort of the highest level you could possibly get to and the recognition you could get. So I'd most probably go for an Olympian medal. However, I think I'm a bit too old for that one now.
Yeah. What about you, Des? Olympic record, Olympic gold medal or world record?
Good question, though. But I'd like an Olympic medal, hands down. Because a lot of factors that can change world records, can't you? You still got a chance to do that at any time. But winning an Olympic medal in that moment, there can't be many better feelings, I don't think.
It's always yours then, isn't it? You are recognized as that Olympic medalist at that time in history and wherever, but as a world record, as you say, will go at some point, and then you'll just get forgotten about.
100% Olympic.
You get many chances to beat the record, don't you? But you only get one chance to win an Olympic gold. Well, most people do.
Yeah.
And what about you, Ellen?
Go on, Des. Yeah, 100% Olympic gold medal for me. Olympic gold.
Okay. Right. So you're on holiday and you go to a massive theme park, and there's only 2 rides open. Do you go on a massive roller coaster or a massive water slide?
Water slide every day, Des.
Yeah.
Water slide.
Okay.
Yep. Water slide, hands down for me as well.
Yeah, and for me. water slide. Yeah. I've got to be honest, I'm frightened of roller coasters. They don't. I'm all right on the waltzers and stuff like that, but and I'm all right going that. Do you know what it is that frightens me? You know that climb as you're going up, and you can't see nothing around you. Whoa!
Yeah,
no chance. Oh, yeah, no. So I don't mind talking about that. And motorbikes frighten me. So roller coasters and motorbikes, two things, and rats.
yeah.
There you go. So yeah, so for me it'd be the water slide. But Ellen.
Okay, Ian, would you rather compete in the decathlon or a single event?
Decathlon.
Des?
The decathlon sounds good because that means you're good at a lot of stuff. But I favour the single event because it's not as hard work. and if you're good at one thing, that'll do me, you know. But the decathlon's really hard, isn't it? You know. I would say so anyway. So a single event for me.
Yeah. I like the reason why I would choose decathlon, it would be because I like the intensity of event rather than a break.
Yeah.
Next event, whatever. So it's just non-stop. It is literally non-stop for 2 days, and I just like that intensity. Adapt to that more better than sort of doing an event and then having a long pause between the next one.
Yeah. And also, would imagine the training is really hard as well. The decathlon. You know, you'd be all over the place, wouldn't you? It'd have to be really strict regime, wouldn't it? You know?
Yeah.
But,
I'm not at that level, Des, but you've got to fit a lot in.
Yeah. Okay. Right, my go.
Yep, you'll go.
Yeah. All right. You go on a holiday to a remote farm. Okay. But when you get there, you realise you've run out of essential stuff. Now, there is a shop in the village, but it's 2 miles away. And there's only a bus every hour, and you've just missed it. So what do you do? Wait for the next bus, or would you walk to the shop? Yeah. Helen, what do you do?
I'd walk to the shop. 100%.
Walk.
Okay. Okay. What if it was raining and all that?
I'd still walk.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I'd probably talk myself into the fact that it wasn't that essential and wait for the next bus. But there you go. That's me. Well, if it was a nice day, I might stroll it. If it was all downhill, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Des, I'm going to ask you this first.
Okay.
Would you rather win an Olympic medal in the dressage or on the rowing, you know, the sailing?
Oh, the sailing. Yeah, sailing. Yeah. Sailing for me. Yeah.
Ian, what about you?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Did he?
I think it's internet connection. He kept on going off and on.
I thought it can't be that hard of a choice.
I'd rather do the dressage because I'd be seasick in the water.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh, why do? Why am I just never done it? But how do normal kids get into dressage?
I think if you're, there's loads of we had Park Palace ponies on, didn't we? And they were, oh yeah, Ian's back.
Yeah.
Let me just let him back in again. There you go. We had Park Palace ponies on, didn't we? And that was about giving kids in cities the opportunity to go horse riding.
Yeah, I passed that place last week. It's great.
Yeah,
in
it's
Park
cracking.
Road in a dingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, Ian, we were talking about dressage, an Olympic medal for dressage or for sailing. I picked dressage because I'd be seasick, and Des picked sailing. What about you?
I don't need it, quite honestly, if that's an option, because A, I'm not a lover of horses, and two, I'd get seasick, so neither would really. I was going to say float me boat then, but that would sound like a bit of a pun, wouldn't it?
No, you've got to pick one.
Sailing.
Oh,
yeah.
Sailing. There you go. Your last one, Des.
Okay. Go back to school. Maths, right? What part of maths did you like best? Geometry or algebra?
Geometry.
I'll ask you first, Ian. Go on. Geometry. Yeah. Geometry. Yeah. Oh, you hell.
Yeah.
I quite liked algebra, so I'm going to go algebra.
Oh, you used to be that clever. No,
yeah, I did like maths.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, it would be geometry for me.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I would all right at geometry. Yeah. But,
well done.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well done, Helen.
Happy days. Okay. Hello. So Ian's joined us tonight. He is a retired police sergeant for a long time, and during that time got into athletics and has competed all around the world. So we're going to talk, with it being the Olympics, we thought we'd be themed this week with our guest. So we're going to have a little chat about Olympics, athletics, how you got to where you are, about your coaching and bits and pieces, and then what the future holds. So we will hand it over to you. We've got about 30 minutes-ish. Des and I will interrupt and ask questions. Probably not at the same time, because that's what Sandra and I do. Des is a little bit more slick than me and Sandra together. So over to you, Ian.
Okay, so I was in the Merseyside Police for 30 years, retired in September 2022, and enjoying sort of the time and control back you get in your life from removing yourself away from the environment, the stressful environment in the police. I got into athletics in 2015 because I'd predominantly always been a team player and a volleyball player. However, the team level in the World Police and Fire Games, which is held every 2 years and is the second biggest multi-sporting event outside the Olympics, is exceptionally high. So if you're not in the top 3 teams, you're never going to get anywhere. 2015, my volleyball's partner then decided that 6 weeks before the the games were about to start, which were in Fairfax, Virginia, phoned me up and said, met a girl, saving up for the house, can't go, bye, put the phone down. And that was it. And I was like, 6 weeks to go. That's not really good, is it? What can I do now? So I decided to take a crash course in athletics, and that I started off with long jump, realised that athletic meetings are usually 5 days. So then I thought, I'm going to get bored if I just do long jump. So I then decided to do high jump, 100 metres, 100-metre relay. And then whilst I was there, I then got sort of coerced for the remaining police team to join the 4x400 metre relay. And I thought, in my naivety, that there's not that much difference between the two. I could give it a go. I was very wrong. So I won my first medal then, and then I've won at least 2 or 3 medals in every World Police and Fire Games since then. I was the 2017 World Police and Fire Games were held in the Olympic Stadium, Los Angeles, which is going to be back there in 2028. And it's got a big tower with a big flag on it and a big flame and things like that. And I remember 1984, Daley Thompson doing the decathlon there. And whilst we were having the open ceremony, I was like, he did the 100 meters there, and he did the pole vault there, and the high jump. And I thought, you know what? In my midlife crisis, I'm going to do a decathlon as a taster. 2019 in Chengdu.
I think it's frozen again.
I'm enjoying that. We're up to 2019 now, aren't we, when he comes back?
We still there?
Yeah, go ahead, eh? We're up to 2019.
Oh, he's gone out. Let me see if we can add him back in.
Gone again.
You're back in again, possibly. I think the internet connection's not the greatest. So we got to 2019.
Right, okay.
Daley Thompson,
Yeah, I'll move a bit, trying to get a bit closer to the... Yeah, so I did the, he was the 1984 decathlon in the Olympic Stadium that I was there. 2022, I decided to do my first decathlon. And in my age group, there was the only age group that had more than 2 contestants in, 4 of us. And 3 of us all went, we all got to 50 and decided that we'd do a decathlon. So it's obviously a bit more normal than what everybody else thinks it is. So, Des, you're next up.
Yeah, wouldn't be a minute.
So for those who don't know, Ian, explain what the decathlon is.
So decathlon consists of 10 events over 2 days, 5 on the first day, 5 on the second one, and it involves your 100 meters, high jump, long jump, shot put, discus, javelin, 1500 meters, 400 meters, and 110 hurdles and pole vault.
Wow.
And you get points, don't you, for each event?
Yeah, that's a great question.
The faster you go on the run, the further you throw on the throws, and the higher you jump, your points go up and up and up, and then obviously the cumulative points at the end of it is who gets the gold, silver, bronze.
Yeah. But how do the points work, Ian? Because I remember looking at them, obviously when Daley Thompson was competing, and all the points seem weird.
Yeah. So you tend to get your bigger points on the running events, which is not my strongest point. Okay, and then as you go further, it will increase. So every 5 meters, like that, it goes further. That you get higher points every time you go like 5 meters or more.
Let's say you win the 100 meters. How many points would you get for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many?
I think that's probably about a couple of 100 points. Depending on your time, maybe by 500 points.
Okay, so it's a bit complicated, isn't it? Well, it sounds it.
Yeah. Still haven't worked it out. I've done two decathlons now, and I haven't got a clue how it works. I just either throw, a jump, or a run. And somebody goes, "You got points for that?" And I go, "Okay."
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it seems a bit complicated to me. How do you work it out?
Yeah.
So the beauty of the
I'll let somebody else do that.
The beauty of the decathlon is you can be so over all of the events. Say for instance, like Ian's just said, sprinting's not his strong point, but you might be like amazing at throwing or at jumping and things like that. So the thing with decathlon is it's the average of all of the all of the games that are all added up, aren't they?
I remember David Thompson. It's like
being all rounder, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he hated the 1500 meters, but it didn't.
I can see why. 400 meters and the 1500 meters, no, not for me. Anything more than a lap around the track, it's too much. The sprints, the 110 meter hurdle, the 100 meters, straight line, finish in 15 seconds, done. Yeah. But the rest of it, the 1500 meters
as well. But he was that good at all the other ones. It didn't matter to him, or much,
Yeah. So last year I did 17 events, and the next thing is I've started off with 4 events. Did the decathlon, which gives me 10 events. I then do the individual events in some of them, and so my next goal in 2025, which is going to be in Birmingham, Alabama, is to do 20 events.
When you were in the police team and you got picked for the team, how does that work? Did you come around and say, is anyone good at athletics, or do you have to be proposed? How does it work?
No, you basically you apply to attend the World Police and Fire Games, and you then pay a registration fee, and then you pay whatever events you want to enter. So I could enter as many events as I want, but obviously each one it costs money. But then obviously it then clashes with other events, so you've got to be quite careful how your timetable works.
Yeah.
So where was the first police firing games, and then is it how does it work? Is it every police fire and games in the world, or is it European, or how does that work?
So you have the World Police and Fire Games is every fire service, paramedics, correctional officers, which is your prison officers, your police officers, and any other law enforcement officers in the world, and it's held every 2 years. So it's held every odds year, 2019, 2021, 23, 25, 27, 29, etc., and things like that.
And how do they choose where it is?
It's exactly how the Olympics work. Sort of you'll have certain teams who will put bids in, and they sort of go through a committee, and they have a promotional video, all the infrastructure in place, and then obviously a committee then picks out and says, right, we're going to go to wherever, and that. So it costs a lot of money to put it on, but then the cash regeneration that you get from the athletes supersedes what you've paid out anyway by far.
Yeah. Where have you been then so far?
I'll try and remember these in order. 2003 was Barcelona. 2005 was Quebec. 2007 was Australia. 2009 I didn't go because my son was due, and he was. I would have got back by about 2 days, but then he decided to come 6 days earlier, so that was a good job I didn't go. 2011 was in New York. 2013 was in Belfast, but we couldn't go because of the troubles at the time. 2015 was Fairfax, Virginia. 2017 was Los Angeles. 2019 was Chengdu, China. 2021-22 was Rotterdam. And last year, 2023, was Winnipeg, Canada. And as I said, next one's back in America, Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh. Wow. And you're not, the police don't fund this, do they? It's self-funding, isn't it?
Yeah, all self-funding. My leave, my pay, whatever. And then obviously I go out and compete for as long as I want.
So you don't get leave for it?
No. Nope.
You have to use your holidays?
You don't?
Yeah. Nope.
Wow.
Nothing.
Do the, let's say, Merseyside police, do they get any recognition when you win something?
They'll get the recognition of sort of the medals I've won. So that's how.
That's a bit poor, that, isn't it? You know, I think anyway. You know,
do we have a big? Do the UK have a big team going out there? You know, or other police forces invested in it, or does it work the same across all police forces that everybody has, it's self-funding? And do we have a big sort of team going out?
Yeah. You have other police forces if you want to go individually. I've always gone with the prison service because they will take 200 people, and then they'll take external agencies as well. So it's easier, booking wise, logistics wise. Turn up at airport with your passport, and you go out with a big team. European countries and the Americans, South Americans, and Asian countries, they invest massively in it because it is such a big thing that they will have team kit for 200, 300, 400 people, athletes, and they do a big thing about it. It just doesn't necessarily happen in the UK.
Yeah, and you got the chance to carry the torch, didn't you?
No, not for the World Police and Fire Games. No, unfortunately, never had that honour.
What did you carry the torch? Did you carry the torch for something?
No.
Maybe I've made that up in my head then. There you go.
Ian, I know you've medalled at the last 2 games, but I didn't realise you started that early in 2000. Was it 7?
2003 was the first one, but
Did you medal in any of that? Have you medalled at any others? No.
No. So I've only started medaling when I went into individual sports, the athletics. Okay. So 2003, 5, 7, 9, and 11 were all basically team sports.
Right.
So, and as I say, the level is top level. And I've only got medals because that's what I wanted to go to get medals. And I've only started getting medals since 2015, and I've got an average of 3 every time I've gone so far.
Okay. What sector do you think the best athletes are from? Are they the firemen?
No, it's you look at the athletics track and the age group that they get put into. Certainly the men's levels. The men's level still going strong, 60 plus, 70 plus.
Yeah, I know, but it's the police and fire games and paramedics and all that, prison officers.
Yeah.
Do the firemen figure strongly in the individual events?
Not necessarily, because they tend to have specific fireman or firefighter related events, and they can only enter them, and they're excellent at them. But it's an open field with everybody else on who's fittest, who's strongest, who whatever.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, all them places every 2 years. What's the best one you've been to?
2005 and 2007. 2003 was Barcelona, and both opening ceremonies have been in Olympic stadiums. And when you walk into an Olympic stadium and you've got a crowd, you can't beat that feeling.
Yeah, it must be good. That good.
So did they hold every event like the Olympics? So is the cycling there and all the other bits? Is it like a full card?
Yeah, so they tend to do majority of the sports in the Olympics, and then you'll get specific events like the ultimate firefighter, the toughest firefighter, police shooting, motorbike, blah blah blah. So you tend to have specific events, but so it's usually about 200 countries that enter, with I think 80 odd events. I think the last was in Winnipeg, over 80 events.
It's mega, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So from being in the athletics, deciding you were going to go down the athletics route with the police World Fire Games, is that how you then decided, well, I'm going to do some athletics, because you were doing a lot of training? So is that how you then became to do athletics in sort of like within the community?
Yeah, it was. I've always been good with sort of developing the ability of kids and things like that, and believing in them. So I just thought, by being around the track and that type of environment, was the next step level, with sort of to teach them, but obviously self-teaching in a way, because the better I become as an instructor, I then should theory become as a competitor, because I'm learning more and then passing that on. So that was why I got into it, and then I started off as a coaching assistant, and last year it became a level 2 coach. So it's obviously I can with being a throws specialist as well. So I'm a specialist in throws events.
So when you were you training to coach the kids when you were working, or is it since you've retired you've then done your exams?
Yeah, it's so every time 2022, I think I was coaching unofficially as a volunteer. 2000 back end of COVID, 2021 maybe. And then it's been the last 2-3 years that I've sort of got more into the coaching, and I also do officiating as well now.
So how did they come to approach you to say then, we'd like you to do your coaching badges, or did you say, I'd like to go and do my coaching badges? How does it all work? So somebody might think, well, I'd like to do something like that. How would they go about it?
It was a bit of both, Helen. It was the club sort of approached me and said, you're at a level now, you're competing internationally, you've got that kudos a bit about you, a bit of status, so you know what you're doing. Would you like to join? We need more coaches. Would you like to coach? And I was most probably at the stage where I was most probably thinking, what is the next step for me? And the coach, Wigan Harriers, then put me through the coaching courses with the view that obviously I then commit so many hours to them per week as a volunteer, as a coach, to sort of pay back what they've invested in me, sort of.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people don't understand that most of these athletic clubs around the country, I would say probably 97% of the coaches, maybe 98% of the coaches are all volunteers who have either been in the athletics world or have got an invested interest in it.
Yeah.
And then, they say, well, okay, I'm going to give some time back or whatever they're going to do to coach the kids. And, then obviously once they're, if they're a really good athlete and, they could possibly go on to Olympics and things, they'd go to it, progress in that way sort of thing. But it takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I'm most probably coaching, training 3 times a week, and then I'm competing or officiating at a Saturday or a Sunday, or Saturday and Sunday.
So what does the officiating, what does that entail?
So the officiating would be at the level, you sort of, when you see the people in the at the events, the big games, sort of like the retrievers for the thrown implements, the sand rakers, the timesheet keepers and things like that. So that's the basic ones, and then you go up to higher levels. So you'd be the starters, the ones who organise people on the track, the ones who do the photo finishes, the ones who do the measuring of the implements when they've landed and whatever. So yeah, so it's just at a basic level officiating now, because if I become higher on officiating, then I can't compete and coach as much. So I've got to sort of try and balance all 3 of them together, that I can maximise my time and sort of the effort that's required, and obviously being away all the time. So
yeah.
So you do qualifications in the officiating, don't you? Or training?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because imagine
I'm
at the 100-meter final men's, isn't it?
What was that?
How would you get to be the starter of the men's 100-meter final in the Olympics?
And it's funny because the ones who come to the local events and the volunteers, they're the ones, because they were all at the Commonwealth Games recently in Glasgow. They get called up to go to the international meet and things like that. And then the Wigan Harriers on a Sunday afternoon somewhere, like, and you're like, you were on telly yesterday, and it's like you're 85 on telly, and it's amazing just being around them, because they've got so much experience. And the tales, I was in the Olympic Games yesterday, and you're like, oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I know that's how it works in the tennis as well. So I know, like I played tennis, and a couple of the people who went and did sort of like the officials for the linesmen and the umpire, and and you have to do qualifications for it. Even on the basketball, when for referees and they do table scores and things like that. You go on like little levels and things. But if you sort of volunteer your time, and then when there's an event on, they'll call you, and then if somebody's particularly good, they might get to do it, say a county level, and then they'll get to do it a tournament, and yeah, they bring them in. So it tends to be sort of yeah.
So anyone in effect could umpire at Wimbledon one day if you got into it.
I think you've got to. So you'd have to go through all of the qualifications, and you've got to prove yourself as being a really good umpire. And
wow,
I don't know whether the ones at Wimbledon. Yeah. But it's it's mega.
Ian, tell us about this animal flow then. What's all this?
So animal flow is basically designed that a set of movements can be put together, and when you're training, it's designed to work on the ligaments and the joints to stabilize them for the bigger muscle groups to then take over. So most training around these days is designed around bigger muscle groups: your arms, your legs, your back, your shoulders, your chest. Animal flow is based to sort of put a load of moves together that strengthen and condition the joints and the ligaments around them. So therefore, you should become injury free. Less injury. Yes, not necessarily injury free, because you never become injury free unless you're bionic. But it's more about sort of being able to compete at a better level, because you're conditioning whole your body rather than just the big muscle groups, which is what training is basically designed for in most concepts.
The reason I asked, I seen Helen do it once, and it looked to me like yoga.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering what the difference is between the two, you know?
So yoga tends to be a static pose and then a pause. Animal flow is like with very similar movements, but they're all moving all the time. So you're not just one move, stop.
Okay.
Next move, stop. So this is like just doing. So animal flow is designed that you can do. You could do it as a warm up. You can do it as a workout. So you just increase the frequency or the intensity of the moves that you're doing, or more of them. And then the idea of like a 2, 3, 4, 5 minute flow is what it's called. Is basically a workout in itself because you're just using so much of your body. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lost now, Ellen. Over to you. You know a bit more about animal flow.
So for yoga, yoga is about like strength and flexibility. So you'll go into a pose and you'll hold that pose, and then different types of yoga do different things. In yoga, you'll hold a pose and you hold that one particular pose for 3 minutes. Okay, and what happens is like the fascia and everything all starts to move and relaxes, and you get a greater flexibility. So I always say, imagine some blue tack, right? So imagine your muscle is a piece of blue tack, and then the more you warm it up and the more you stretch it, the more flexible it becomes.
Yeah.
Animal flow animal flow, you would get that piece of blue tack, right? And you would mix it and you would stretch it, and then you would continue and you would create like say a Play-Doh figure or something like that out of it by the end of it. So it's putting a series of movements in place, but each movement, again, it's about flexibility, but it's a lot about strength. It's a lot about mobility as well. So not just flexibility, but being mobile. So being able to, on one particular move, you put your foot through a gap, and it's about placing your hands and putting your legs through. So you've got that range of movement. So it's more about range of movement and stretching the whole of your body.
Yeah. Could that then? Sorry, I was just going to say, could that in itself be an event then?
No, you wouldn't have it as an event. You'd have it to watch and say that looks amazing. A bit like a contemporary dance. That looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay.
But anything that looks really easy is really, really difficult. So when people do a plank, and if you do a perfect plank and people go, "Oh, that looks dead easy," that, and you can hold the plank for a minute, and a minute's a long time. When people very first start, they might be able to do 7 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. And you don't realize using your body weight as a weight is like really, really difficult. And I remember the very first time that Ian and I did it, and I think we did like a flow which was about, I'm going to say 90 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
And you're just done in at the end of it. And I was thinking, oh, I thought I was pretty fit, but like your heart's pounding and the sweat's pouring off you, and your arms are like shaking because you're holding your own body weight for, and 90 seconds doesn't, and then obviously you build up. But anything more than maybe, you probably wouldn't do a flow for more than 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
No.
Because your body just,
So can anyone do it?
Yeah.
Or do you need to be?
Anybody can do it.
Yeah. No, so you haven't got to be anything. You haven't got to be, the world's greatest. And it's like anything, lots of people are put off, or they'll say, "Oh, well, I'll start the gym when I've lost weight. I'll start running when I get fitter. I'll go to yoga when I'm more flexible." And it's about starting, and it's very like what I do. I work with people with disabilities and things. So we will find a way that fits them. And then, you practice, you improve. And then, we might use a heavier weight. We might use, instead of using the chair, we might then do it standing up. So it's about progressing things, but everybody just has to start. And that's the hardest thing, is getting people to actually start doing something. It's like, it's like anything that you do, you're not going to be amazing on your very first try, unless you're naturally gifted. Some people are naturally gifted at things. But most things take practice, and most things take that initial, like, getting over your fear, really, the fear of failure. But if you fail at something, you find out your learnings and you go again. And that's where your mindset comes in, is And you know, athletics. I was listening to they were talking about the skateboarding was on before, and they were saying that you only learn from the skateboarding when you fall. You know, when you miss a turn or you miss
Of
a trick.
course, yeah.
It's the only way that, you know, and these young girls are, you know, one young girl was only 13 competing, you know, and they're like 13, 15, 16, and they're saying, well, how did they get on? And like, because they're at that point where they're so supportive of each other. We're having a little debate around, you know, and if they get a medal, they're made up. But if somebody else does a better trick, they're all applauding. So our young girl, Sky, she's just come third. She was coming second. And the girl who went out did this amazing little flick along the wall, and she was like, yay. And I thought, you're cheering, but you're going to go in third now.
Yeah, but they all support each other, don't they? And
I think
I like that. I like that about the Olympics. Yeah.
I think the Olympics is like that, isn't it? Because you can be the best. As long as you do your best, you can't stop anyone being better than you. As long as you've done your best and tried your best.
Exactly.
And I think that's what the Olympics gives.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone can do it. I believe anyone can do anything with the right guidance, the right support.
You know. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Ian, do you mind if I ask a question, Helen? You know, I'm on this. I'll give bread up in the streets and all that. Ian, what's your diet? Because you're in good nick for your age, and you're winning all these medals. So what? Do you mind me asking what your diet is?
Not at all. What's
a typical day for Ian?
A typical day is basically having 3 balanced meals and then snacks in between. So your balanced meal, which tends to most people fall down, is they don't necessarily get a protein, a fat, and a carbohydrate in meal base. Yeah. People who train go, well, loads of protein, but you need all 3 of them to give you basically an energy ball which your body processes, and then if it doesn't need it, gets rid of it, things like that. So it's about getting that consistency in each meal that allows you to perform at a higher level with a view that is 3,500 calories a day, which sounds a lot, but it doesn't even touch the sides most of the time because it's just
you burn it up, So what and then the point is, what's a typical meal for Ian?
So
what do you have for your breakfast? What do you have for your breakfast?
Breakfast is usually cinnamon raisin bagels or 2 bagels, 2 turkey rashers, 2 eggs, 2 chicken sausages.
And do you have that every single day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So any of the meals I can have any time during the day. So I could swap it for any of the others. You just have that at a later time. That would be possibly lunch or a snack, or but so I could have that. So it's about trying to continually and consistently get that mix of the balanced diet, which most people don't have a balanced diet. They go, oh, I've had a bit of chicken yesterday, and I'll have loads of carbs today, and won't touch fats or whatever, and things like that. And because that's going to be really horrible to me. And it's not a balance all the time of what you eat consistently.
So what do you have for a snack? We're going to go through your whole day. So breakfast, you have like 2 bagels, some turkey rashers, some eggs, some chicken sausages. And what would you have for a snack?
Either mid-morning or afternoon snack would be 100 grams of porridge oats, almond milk, 2 scoops of protein powder.
Yeah.
And you put your protein powder in
that. The other snack might be yogurt and banana or an apple with a scoop of protein powder. And then it's roughly 250 grams of protein, 250 grams of carbs, and then fiber. And then your main meal at dinner time might be 300 grams of carbs.
Okay, so some people won't understand what all that means. Okay, so for lunchtime, what do you eat? So you'd have rice.
So that could be 2 wraps, wholemeal wraps, chicken breast and spinach or salad. And then tea time might be rice, the rice bags, or sweet potato fries, or jack potato, and that might be then chicken, lean fish or lean meat. And certain meats are harder to digest, so I would tend to stay away from them anyway, and then sort of either veg or fibre of some sort just to mix it up.
So has somebody created that diet for you as an athlete, or have you just worked out what works well for you?
A sort of advice from a bodybuilder, really. And to be quite honest with you, I've most probably been under eating for such a long time, which was quite frightening how much I actually most probably do need. So that was based on a bodybuilding, get the nutrients and the proteins and everything else for performance wise, so I can perform continually. So that's how we've got it, and that's what I've just based it on now. I can most probably have a tweak by somebody else who for different reasons, but that was what it was based on. That would give me the mixture of everything so I can keep on performing and have the energy levels that I have.
So since you've started eating with the advice of, and you've tweaked your diet so you have a much higher calorie intake now than you did, can you feel the difference in your body?
I can most probably see the difference as well, because prior to that I was most probably about 13.6. I'm about 14.8 now. So it's obviously, so having it. So if you look at your carbohydrates, fill your muscles, your proteins, repair your muscles. So if you're working them out, you need to repair. If you need to fill them out, obviously for the strength and things like that, you need to put the carbohydrates in them, and that's basically how I look at it.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say, for people who are listening who don't have an active lifestyle, 3,500 calories a day is probably a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Massive. Yeah, you have to be prepared that off.
But you can still eat the balanced nutritional, like breakfast, lunch and dinner, by having your carbs, your meat, So I always say to people, have about half a plate of like fruit or a vegetable, sorry. Use the palm of your hand for your protein and use a fist for your carb. So your carbohydrates the size of your fist, your protein's the size of your palm, your fat's your thumb, and then fill it out with vegetables. And then generally, if you have all of that on one plate, that's roughly a good balanced food. But lots of people say, carbs are really bad for us. We can't eat them. So they'll go like keto, and then they'll come off keto and have carbs, and then they yo-yo. So you're better having just a balanced little bit of everything as you go along, type thing. Yeah.
It's quite complicated, isn't it? Because I've been reading up about it in the last couple of weeks, and I thought, wow, surely the cavemen didn't find it this hard, No,
because and as well for the cavemen, there wasn't as much choice, was there? There wasn't, So I've got about 30 minutes left of I'm listening to Ultra Processed People, which is a book about. So if you home make a pizza has absolutely everything that you need. So it has the base, which is the carbohydrate. It has the tomatoes, it has the protein, it has your fats, it has everything on it. If you make the base and everything yourself, it's quite a good diet food. It's quite a good nutritional food. But what happens is you can go and buy a pizza from the supermarket, or you can get one delivered, which is super quick. But it's been ultra processed. So what we actually thought was chicken is now not chicken, because it's been taken and it's been mixed with this, that, and the other. So whereas people think, oh, I'm being good by having this, and I'm only eating that. What's happened is the art of cooking and the art of preparing food is slightly lost, because it's quick and easy to get ultra processed food, and ultra processed food is soft and easy to eat. So if you think of a hamburger from a hamburger shop, it's soft and you eat it dead fast. So if you think if one of those little burgers, you probably have 3 or 4 bites and it's gone. But you've had about 400 calories in those 3 or 4 bites. Whereas if you were to make chicken breast, rice, vegetables on a big massive plate, that would probably be maybe say 400 calories, but would take you maybe 10 minutes to eat it. So like our jaw sizes have changed because we don't chew anymore, and it's absolutely fascinating. It's fascinating. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable of what the processed food and industry has done. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I found it quite complicated reading about it, but I wish someone would just bring a book out and say, look, just do this. You know?
But they can't because everybody has their own opinion on how food works for them. So the other thing I've been listening to, there's a great podcast which is Zoe, and it's Dr. Tim Spector. So during COVID, they had they did a big study, and everybody put their information of how they were feeling every day, and Zoe took all of the information and have analysed everything. And Dr. Tim Spector, you'll know him if you see him. What professor he is? He's Professor Tim Spector. So basically, he's saying a banana will work differently in my body, in your body, Des, and in Ian's body. So you can't say, well, everybody eats a banana every day, because each body will react to a banana differently, depending on your microbiome, depending on your energy levels, depending on what you're doing. So they can't give you one set diet. So what they say is the suggested diet is the balanced diet, where you eat your protein, your carbs, your veg, your fiber, your fats. So what you need to do is you need to eat something yourself. So say, for instance, you have a piece of toast in the morning, right? How long does it take for you to feel hungry again is how quickly your body processes that. So if you had a banana, you might have a banana. So banana for me, right? I can eat a banana. A banana probably lasts me about 2 hours before I start to get hungry again. Ian probably eats a banana and maybe 10 minutes later he'd be starving. His body works different to my body. Whereas Ian might eat a chicken breast and maybe maybe that lasts him an hour. But if he mixes a bit of chicken and rice together, it'll last him 2 hours. So it's all independent. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating, and that's why there's a million books on nutrition, and everybody has their own things on it, don't they? So you've got to work out what's good for you and your body alone, not what's good for everybody else.
I like to use something. It's just like putting a bit of paper on a fire, Ian, isn't it? Just goes, got it. And people like me, it just stays there. But we'll get there. I'm gonna get there. Definitely gonna get there.
You are gonna get there. Okay. Quick red face moment. Anything slightly embarrassing that's happened this week? I've got nothing. I've done, so I'm not going because I'm all right this week.
Shall I go then?
Yep.
It was just. Well, I had to go in. Well, you got one in?
Yeah. So I was competing on Saturday, and do you remember Frank Bolt, the female Dutch athlete, fell last year in a major competition just before the line? I was about 2 meters out, and as I was striding with me left leg, my left leg kicked me right leg, and I nearly face planted. I managed to stay on my feet and still win the race, but everybody went, ooh, ooh. And so I had cramping after 2 days.
Oh, nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, you finished the race and you won. Yeah.
Still won.
Brilliant. What about you, Des? What's your red face?
Well, I had to go on a speed awareness course last week, right? They moved it now. It used to be at the Suites Hotel, but it's not. It was at the Mercure Hotel in St. Helens. We'll get there, parking up, and it's really hard to register your card on the pay and display. That's not what I was telling you last week, and that was another one. But anyway, so I'm in this car park, and it took about 15 minutes, So when I went in and I said to the reception, "It's murder registering your car. Do you feel your speed awareness?" I went, "Yeah." She said, "Parking's free, but that's not the embarrassing bit." She said, "Just register." I said, "Okay," but no one says that. No one says that in the letter that you get. Parking's free. So I said, "Where is it?" And she told me where it was. And I'm walking down, and I burst into the room. Like you're not knocking or not. You just burst into the room full of confidence. And 30 heads sitting around and looked at me. I thought, shoot this fella, I thought the room was going to be empty, or they're just milling around waiting to start, But they all had a good laugh, and so did I. So that was that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It was very good. Yeah. And I was 5 miles an hour over the speed limit here when I got done. In case
How
you were
many?
interested. 5.
Oh,
35 mile an hour. Not
oh,
bad, that is it?
never mind.
236
Never
quite
mind.
honestly.
Right.
Des.
What's that?
No.
Usually 36.
36, sorry, yeah, it was 36.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
36.
I got done for doing 42 miles an hour on the motorway and had to go to the motorway awareness course.
42.
42 mile an hour on a motorway because it was the average speed.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sat there fuming. But I thought the course was very interesting. And once you
I did,
understand
to be honest.
why
Yeah.
you have to do what you do, so I think they
Yeah.
should just put those videos out for everybody to watch. And then if you get done for speeding, fair
Yeah.
enough. If you know the reasons why, when it says 40 mile an hour, there's no one else on the road, and you sort of keep up with traffic and you go a little bit. But if you understood why, so yeah, so I think they should do that. Anyway,
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
yeah, it was good. Shout out to any grown-ups who've done amazing things this week.
I will say just mum and dad who are both having health issues at the moment. So just the fact that they're still battling through.
Well done to them too. Keep fighting.
Yep. Well done.
Keep fighting. What about you, Des?
I'll give a shout out a couple of weeks ago now, but you've had this guy on your show, Phil Milot. He actually medalled again because we're talking about sports. And he competes in the over 70s, Ian, for Great Britain.
Yeah.
And he was at the European Championships at Madeira. Now, last time he won the gold medal, he won it again this time, and he got a silver as well. And
fantastic.
What makes this one more better, 2 weeks beforehand, you'll know better than me here, he got a calf injury. So he couldn't do any training before he went away there. I concerned him a bit, you know. But anyway, he still came through, which was fantastic. So well done, Phil. You know.
Yeah, well done.
Great achievements. Brilliant achievements. You know. And he's like the police, you know that GB squad. They have to do all their own expenses as well. He had to buy his own tracksuit, Great Britain tracksuit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's wrong now. So if the government's listening, come on, get your act together.
He needs sponsors. He needs somebody to sponsor him.
Absolutely.
He needs a sponsor. So I'm going to give a massive shout out to all of the community groups who are doing phenomenal things for the HAF funding. So there's loads of community groups out there, lots of volunteers, lots of people giving their time, keeping all the kids entertained over the summer holidays. And a massive shout out to everybody who was out and about, tidying County Road up, and loads of people have given good support and stuff. So there are amazing people, and we need to be shouting about them and giving them the publicity. So that is my big shout out. So we have gone slightly over time, so we are going to pass it to Ian for a closing quote or a mantra that he lives by.
Always try and make somebody smile, because you don't know what the impact it has on them.
Ooh. We like that, because we're gonna listen to Des's, because Des is about smiling as well. What's yours, Des?
If you find it hard to smile, don't open a shop. Yeah, that's my one. But same thing.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So pass a smile on to everybody when you're walking down the street. Just say hello to strangers. As you say, you never know. It might be the only person you engage with through the week. So massive thank you to Ian for giving us time, and a massive thank you for Des. Des is going to be with me for the next 2 weeks because Sandra is on her hollybob. So we hope Sandra has an amazing time. She's going to see her boy, Ronan, so that's cool because she hasn't seen him for a while. So we will see, Des and I will see everybody next week.
Okay, nice one, Ian. I'll see you soon.
See you later, folks. Thanks for having me on.
Good night.
Okay.
Good night now. Bye-bye.